Dwarves have long captured the human imagination, featuring prominently in myths, legends, and modern fantasy literature. These stout, hardy beings are often depicted as skilled miners, blacksmiths, and craftsmen, inhabiting underground cities and mountainous regions. But where do dwarves come from? The answer to this question varies significantly depending on the cultural and literary traditions being considered. This exploration delves into the origins of dwarves from various perspectives, including Norse mythology, Germanic folklore, and modern fantasy literature, highlighting the evolution of these intriguing beings through time. In Norse mythology, dwarves, or dvergr, as they are known in Old Norse, are integral to the mythic tapestry. The Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda, two primary sources of Norse myth, provide rich accounts of these beings. According to these texts, dwarves were created by the gods from the blood and bones of the primordial giant Ymir. Initially, they were maggot-like creatures crawling through the flesh of Ymir, but the gods endowed them with human-like forms and intelligence. Dwarves in Norse myths are renowned for their unparalleled craftsmanship. They forged many of the gods' most powerful artifacts, including Thor's hammer Mjolnir, Odin's spear Gungnir, and the golden ring Draupnir. These creations were not just ordinary objects. They were imbued with magical properties that played crucial roles in the mythological narratives. The dwarves' ability to create such items underscored their importance and the reverence in which they were held by the gods and humans alike. Germanic folklore presents another rich vein of stories about dwarves. Here, they are often depicted as earth-dwelling creatures, deeply connected to the natural world and its treasures. These dwarves were thought to reside in mountains and underground caverns, where they mined for precious metals and gems. Germanic dwarves were also known for their wisdom and magical abilities, frequently acting as advisors or tricksters in various tales. One well-known example from Germanic folklore is the story of the dwarf Alberic from the Nibelungenlied, a Middle High German epic poem. Alberic is a cunning and powerful dwarf who guards a vast treasure hoard, including a magic ring that grants invisibility. His role in the saga highlights the dwarves' association with hidden knowledge and magical artifacts, themes that would be carried forward into later literary traditions. In Celtic mythology, dwarves are less prominently featured but still play significant roles in the mythic landscape. The Celts had a variety of supernatural beings, including the Tuatha De Danann, who are sometimes compared to elves and dwarves. These beings were considered skilled in magic and craftsmanship, much like their Norse and Germanic counterparts. Celtic dwarves, or Duergar, as they are sometimes called in Scottish folklore, were believed to inhabit the dark, hidden places of the earth, such as caves and ancient burial mounds. They were known for their secretive nature and their ability to move through the earth unseen. In some tales, they could be both benevolent and malevolent, helping those who respected their domain and punishing those who did not. The modern conception of dwarves owes much to the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, who redefined these beings in his Middle-earth legendarium. In The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's dwarves are portrayed as a noble, though often misunderstood, race of skilled miners and warriors. They are characterized by their short stature, long beards, and a deep-seated love for gold and precious gems. Tolkien's dwarves have a detailed and rich backstory. According to the Silmarillion, they were created by the Vala Aule, one of the divine beings of Tolkien's mythology. Aule, impatient for the arrival of the children of Ilúvatar, elves and men, fashioned the dwarves from stone. However, his creations were not given life until Ilúvatar himself granted them free will. This act of creation sets Tolkien's dwarves apart, imbuing them with a sense of independence and resilience. Dwarves have also made significant inroads into video games and other forms of popular culture. Games like World of Warcraft, the Elder Scrolls series, and Dungeons & Dragons feature dwarves as a playable race, often emphasizing their combat abilities, craftsmanship, and connection to mining and metallurgy. The enduring appeal of dwarves can be attributed to their rich symbolism and cultural significance. Throughout various mythologies and literary traditions, dwarves represent a connection to the earth and its hidden treasures. Their association with mining and craftsmanship symbolizes human ingenuity and the ability to create and shape the world through skill and hard work. Dwarves also embody themes of resilience and perseverance. Their often harsh living conditions and the dangers they face in their underground homes reflect the human struggle against adversity. This makes them relatable and inspiring figures, particularly in stories that emphasize overcoming obstacles and achieving great feats through determination and expertise. In many fantasy worlds, dwarves are seen as staunch allies of humans, often providing them with weapons and armor in times of need. This alliance is rooted in their complementary skills and shared values of honor and bravery. Conversely, dwarves often find themselves at odds with orcs and goblins, who are depicted as their natural enemies. These conflicts are typically framed around territorial disputes and the protection of their subterranean homes and treasures. Dwarven culture typically emphasizes values such as loyalty, honor, and a strong sense of community. Their societies are often depicted as clan-based, with intricate hierarchies and long-standing traditions. Festivals, rituals, and a deep respect for their ancestors are common cultural elements, reflecting their connection to their past and their environment. Additionally, the dwarf archetype resonates with the broader human experience of living in challenging environments and harnessing natural resources for survival and prosperity. This connection to real-world cultures and historical practices adds depth and authenticity to their portrayal in fiction, making them relatable and believable within their fantastical settings. The enduring presence of dwarves in mythology and fantasy literature speaks to their deep-rooted appeal and versatility as a narrative element. From their ancient origins in Norse and Germanic myths to their modern reimaginings in literature, games, and media, dwarves continue to captivate and inspire. As fantasy literature and media evolve, the portrayal of dwarves is likely to become even more diverse and nuanced, reflecting changing societal values and interests. Whether as steadfast warriors, masterful craftsmen, or wise advisors, dwarves will undoubtedly remain a beloved and integral part of the fantasy genre, symbolizing the enduring human spirit and our connection to the earth and its mysteries.